Well, it's January and it's 2020, and you know what that means.
Our vision's great.
Our vision is great, and the train shows are starting.
That's right.
This is the time of year, I don't know why. Well, actually, the NMRA in the fall is probably true, but we digress. The first train show of the year here along the Wasatch Front is the Ophir, Tintic, and Western train show at Thanksgiving Point.
Right, it breaks up January nicely.
It breaks up January nicely. It's right square in the middle. So check this out. The Ophir, Tintic, and Western train show at Thanksgiving Point. Well, the Ophir, Tintic, and Western show, we come almost every year.
Just about. It's a nice way to break up the winter doldrums.
The doldrums, yeah. And it's a small show, but it's always fun to come to the train shows. And even though it's quite often sort of the same, it's always completely different because the dealers bring different inventory. Oh, this was a contest model from the National NMRA Convention. We ran into that last summer at the National NMRA Convention. Remember that?
That's really cool.
Isn't that neat? This is Karen and Bob Gerald of the Wasatch N-Scalers with that modular railroad. Isn't that neat?
That's really cool. A husband and wife team doing a hobby together. I love it.
So the switches are hand-laid?
Yes.
Some of my fast tracks here.
What's that?
Those are those fast tracks.
Oh, the
switches.
jig thing? Yeah, I know Adam Pinellas uses that on his end scale.
Yeah, that's all the switches on mine are built with that. Like get a freeway or something, or like a crossover.
Yeah.
That, you can use that to build a standard switch as well.
This is such a neat modular railroad, and this year they've shown up with a whole new end module.
They have. I really like it too.
It's really nice, and I love the hand-laid switches and everything. This is just a really first-class model railroad. Wow, look at the beautiful paint and weathering on these diesels.
Looks great.
Man, it looks like a real train.
It does.
And you lose track of the fact that these are just teeny little N-scale trains. That's the advantage of N-scale.
And that's why I love it.
Yeah, you can fit a lot into a small space. Now this module right here was on the railroad years ago. I guess the guy gave the module over to them and they have finished it. And look at the beautiful scenery.
I love the rock work.
Holy cow, that's now the nicest place on the railroad.
It is.
Now, of course, Bob and Karen aren't the only members of the Wasatch N-Scalers.
No.
They're just the ones we know really well. But there's a lot of members here, and it's a pretty big railroad. We've been over to Bob and Karen's home railroad.
We have.
Oh, that is spectacular. We got to get back over there for an operating session.
Right. They said they've done a lot more work on it since we were there.
Yeah, and I'm more interested in seeing it. We don't actually operate, but they keep saying we should try it.
As long as I don't derail.
As long as we don't derail. Well, actually, we've been talking about buying a train of our own and showing up with that and doing an operating session. You can always show up with your own train.
Absolutely.
there's a couple of different toy train operators.
I really like these.
There's Lego back there. Over here is the American Flyer group. But we had some fun over with the Lionel group.
That's a fun one, too.
I love the old Lionel. And these guys had some neat equipment. I guess these guys are technically a high rail group.
Oh, explain that to me. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, within the Lionel community, the people who try to be more accurate to scale and cover up the fact that they've got a third rail and that sort of thing call themselves high railers. It's more scale and a little less toy train-like.
Oh, I see.
And in that vein, look, they've got some of Steve's buildings when he was dismantling his railroad.
That is so neat that they're enjoying them, though.
Yeah, they bought a bunch of the stuff in the yard sale, if you will. These buildings here, they've got some other buildings that they didn't bring along with, but this was one of my favorite little dioramas that Steve built when he was dismantling his railroad. Now, they also bought 4 of Al's standard gauge cars that he scratch built.
Oh, no, check out the interiors on these.
Oh, these are some of the most beautiful cars. Al built almost 100 cars while he was around. Unfortunately, of course, he's passed. And in the estate sale, these guys bought 4 of his scratch-built O-scale cars. And now they're retrofitting them to run on Lionel because Al ran 2-rail. So I'm not sure if these are actual Lionel trucks or just exactly what they've done, but they've retrofitted this so that it'll run properly on their track. But look at the detail that Al put into the brake rigging and everything.
I know, just like, it's like real.
Well, that was fun seeing the Lionel layout.
I always enjoy that one.
It's always a kick. Let's go over to the dealer area and see what's for sale.
Oh, boy.
I'm always looking for a treasure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's us. We're always collecting.
A lot of interesting items for sale.
Yeah, look at all the large scale here.
Right.
And one of the things, if you always find something different, it's sort of like eBay. If you see something you want, you better grab it. You know, I'm wondering if this is all an estate sale. It's sort of used equipment.
More than likely. Oh,
look.
Oh, I want to build one of these little circus trains so bad.
N-scale circus cars. I love those.
Those are so cute.
So well made. And this estate sale, it looks like this is all off of one railroad, but over here, my favorite.
Oh, of course.
The railroad antiques.
Yes.
And they had lanterns and uniforms and just everything.
Yes.
So much stuff. And, I just love this stuff. The problem is if I buy it all, it'll go broke.
Yeah, no kidding. We have to build an extra shelf or something.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's so hard to pass on some of
those
this stuff.
especially. I love lanterns.
Oh, man, look at those. And one of the dealers had a lot of brass engines and stuff.
Look at that one.
Aren't those beautiful?
Oh, my.
I've been a collector of brass for so long, this Sidem trolley almost followed us home.
Oh, it did.
But it's a buyer's market right now.
It is.
So much of this has come up in estate sales. The prices dropped on it. And antique trains, same thing. The prices are really good right now if you're looking to buy.
No kidding. I keep finding my favorites, like this one right here. But look how fun.
Nice. Yeah, I thought it was cast iron. No, it's
No, it's tin plate. These are fun.
In the past, we've bought a lot of this Lionel and these really antique trains. We don't run them.
No, I just like my little caboose sitting on my little shelf.
We've got, shelves full of this stuff because it's just fun to have.
It is.
But then there's a lot of people who seriously run it. They had a couple of modular groups up here in the dealer area. There was a Fremo
A Fremo?
demonstration up here. They just had 3 modules set up to show how Fremo works, and then this tabletop,
Yes.
N-scale tabletop. And this has really become a thing because these modules are just made out of construction foam, so they don't weigh anything, and they're about the size of a suitcase, so you can even take them on an airplane, and then they just set on a tabletop.
Well, that's really cool.
So traveling to conventions and stuff, you can pack up your module and just show up, and hundreds of these things will get assembled into a railroad when they get to the convention. Tabletop, it's just a really great idea. And the Utah Garden Railway Society.
Oh, this is right up your alley.
Well, I was one of the founders of this club.
Oh, really?
So you're right.
Yeah.
We used to set the railroad up on the floor, and I went out and bought a bunch of that green carpet grass stuff.
Oh, gee.
And years later, we threw all that away, and then these guys built this, and I was living in California, and blah, blah, blah. But, I don't know, 20 years ago, I was doing that with these guys, because you know me in garden railroading.
Yes.
I love garden railroading. The idea that you can take your model railroad out into the yard
And play with it.
and play with it. And come the spring, let's get back to work on our railroad at Garage Mahal.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for spring. And over here, American Flyer.
Oh, that's really cool.
Isn't that neat? I had American Flyer as a kid. Everybody else had Lionel. Not me.
You had American Flyer.
I was an American Flyer, but child, I had American Flyer. Loved it. S-scale. It's so much like Lionel, but it's just a little bit smaller and a little bit funner,
Yes.
I personally think.
Yeah.
Well, it was neat.
That was.
Yeah. That's a small train show, but a really nice one. Well, all train shows are nice.
I know. They're all of them just wonderful.
We've never been to a bad one.
No.
And that one kind of kicks off the season, and the next big train show is Ogden.
Oh, boy.
Ogden.
That's not next month, but the month after.
Month after that.
Almost a month because February's short.
Yeah, February. February has got gypped.
That's okay.
We digress. Anyway, next, within 6 weeks or 2 months or something, the big train show Hostlers at Ogden.
Right.
And we will be there,
Yes.
and we will take you along.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you haven't been over to the channel, pop on over to the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, well, we're not ashamed. You can do that now. You can get caught up. We have a moratorium on fines. All you have to do is click the blue button. Are we ready? Right there, the blue button. Well, we're not sure how you found this fun and interesting little train show on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here on Tuesday, because we'll be doing some Tuesday screwing around.
Right.
See you then.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.